absolutely central. Himself, in some senses, a follower of the Greeks.
But you say that what Heidegger is trying to do is to give a description of the reality in which we find ourselves, to give a description of being, of existence, of what there is.
Human existence.
Human existence. But, I mean, a layman might ask, well, what's the point of this? I mean, we have this existence, here we are living it, it's in a sense all we have. What is the point of describing that which we are already having, or that with which we are already utterly familiar? What can a description of this give us that we haven't already got?
Well, it's the familiar that usually eludes us in life. I mean, what's before our nose is what we see last. It's true that the features of human existence, which he describes, are in many ways commonplace when you get through with this analysis, but you haven't seen them quite in this way before. And I think it's the case that people don't see what's before them. They look past it or look through it in one way or another. And adequate description of experience would, in some sense, enlighten our eyes to what there is. And which is not easy to see in all cases.
But does this mean that there is, throughout Heidegger, an emphasis on the everyday, on the ordinary, on the familiar?
Yes, in its familiar sense, but there's also an emphasis on the extraordinary, the unusual. You see, if I compare Heidegger in this respect with another philosopher of the everyday, using that term in general sense, let's say the later Wittgenstein, the comparison is rather interesting in one respect, because Wittgenstein envisages the task of philosophy to be unraveling the snarls of our ordinary language, so that then we can continue functioning on the same plane, so the sort of level plane of efficient communication within the world. Now, in this sense, we almost envisage with Wittgenstein the possibility, if we unraveled all the snarls of language, philosophy would disappear, or the problems or questions which set us into philosophy would disappear. But now, you see, in Heidegger's case, we move along that plane of ordinary reality, and there's suddenly extraordinary gaps, abrupt kinds of experiences which are very extraordinary.
Well, now, I think we are getting Heidegger in our sight, so to speak. And I think people watching this discussion will be beginning to ask themselves, well, yes, but what does he actually say? What does he talk about? What are his doctrines? Now, what are some of the central themes with which he's concerned? And let's start going into what he has to say about them.
Well, for example, the one characteristic of human existence, and we've talked a little bit about, you and I,